Well, Japan is in one of the world's most seismically active areas. It sits on what is known as the Pacific Ring of Fire. And this area has suffered and survived many earthquakes in the past. Peggy Hellweg is with the Berkeley Seismology Laboratory at the University of California, and she joins us via Skype. Thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Japan, as you know, has seen many quakes in the past. Can you give us an idea of what is happening in this particular area known as the Ring of Fire?
The Ring of Fire is where lots of the tectonic plates hit each other. Japan is the zone where 3 tectonic plates hit each other. 2 of them, the Philippine plate and the North Pacific plate, are being subducted under Japan. And under Japan and under the European, Eurasian plate, North American plate that most of the rest of Japan is sitting on. On the one hand, on the East Coast are the very big subduction zone earthquakes that occur like the Tohoku earthquake in 2011. On the West Coast are other earthquakes that happen because the crust is being stretched. And in the middle is the median tectonic line where strike-slip faulting happens as these other pushes and pulls go on.
Peggy, how is global warming affecting this area?
Global warming is a completely separate question from the earthquake hazard. It likely affects Japan just as it does other regions, possibly greater storms, sea level rise, and so on. But the earthquakes have nothing to do with global warming.
Nothing at all. Well, as you know, the deadliest quake was in 1923 with over 100,000 deaths, although the strongest was just in 2011. Is there any kind of precursor that leads from one to the next?
Unfortunately, we haven't found anything that precedes most of the earthquakes that occur. Some earthquakes, about 10% of the big ones, have a foreshock that occurs, an earthquake that happens like this earthquake on Thursday before, but we don't know it's a foreshock until the main shock has happened, whenever that occurs. For the Tohoku earthquake, there was also a magnitude 7 that happened 2 days before the main shock. That's actually a relatively rare occurrence, but not completely unknown. We've looked for other things that happen, and other things do happen before earthquakes, but unfortunately not before a high enough percentage of earthquakes in order for us to be able to say, okay, now it's coming.
Peggy, what do you do in these type of situations based on your scientific evidence? How do you advise residents in this area?
After a big earthquake, aftershocks are going to happen. They could be almost the same size as the main shock. One of the big problems when an earthquake is this big in a region where the buildings aren't perhaps as safe as they could be is that they're pre-damaged and then have more damage occur when another big shaking comes along. So I think the Japanese are doing what's right, is going to the shelters and being aware. But the Japanese have a lot of experience with earthquakes.
Peggy Hellweg, we really appreciate your time and insight. Thank you.